Okay, I want to cover the 4 presentation print options that you have. For example, to bring those up, you want to bring up your print settings. To do that, just go ahead and either come up here and click on the Office logo button, come down and click on print, or you can click on print up there. It doesn't matter. I'll click it here. Brings up the print settings screen, or click cancel and just hit Control P as in Paul on the keyboard and it brings it up as well. First of all, you can select all and just say print all the slides. How do I know it's going to print slides, not handouts or notes or other options? Well, down here where it says print what, the default is slides. You can click on the drop down arrow and these are the 4 we're going to talk about. We already covered basically handouts and note pages, but we'll quickly go over those in a review here. So slides. Once I select slides, I can come up here and say I want to print all the slides, the current slide, or just what I have selected. What I have selected is just slide 1, so I guess it's the same as current and selection, so I'll just go back to all. Or I can come down here and select certain slides that I want to print off. And you can read this little example here. I want to print, let me select this and hit the backspace and say I want to print slides 2, comma, also 4 through, let's say 6, and then comma 8. Once you go ahead and click OK, it's going to print that off. However, if you want to know what it looks like before you print it off, so you don't waste any ink, go ahead and click on the preview button, and you can see, as I click through the next page, what I'm printing off. It's in black and white or grayscale. Next page. Except the pictures here, the clip art's coming up in color, but on a black and white printer it's not going to make a difference. When I'm finished, I can go ahead and click Close Print Preview, or I can go ahead and click Print right here and it'll print these off. I'll close it. I want to bring up my print settings screens again, so hit Control P, brings it back up. Now you can change it from grayscale and go to color. Of course, it's going to take up a lot of ink, so I'm just going to go back to grayscale or pure black and white, but I prefer grayscale. So we know how to print slides here and the number of copies that we want. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do we want to collate so it prints off 1, 2, 3, 4, it prints off the first group, then it prints off the second group? I mean, if you said that you want 2 copies of all that you have selected here. I'm going to go back to 1. So going from slides, we can go next to handouts. Now handouts, let me show you what it looks like in print preview before we actually print it off. I mean, right here you can say, look, I would like 6 slides per page. You can see over here it lines them up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can also select 4. And what's interesting, when you select 3, 3 is the only one that puts a slide on the page in the left column, and on the right column it actually adds some lines. So you can actually hand those out for people to write notes next to them on those actual lines. For example, when I click on Preview, let's take a look at this. Excellent. When I click Next Page, like I said, they can come in here and take their own notes when you print these off as actual handouts next to each slide. Now that's not to say that they couldn't write notes if you didn't choose the 3 slides per page. In fact, you can change it here in the page setup group. Go ahead and click on the drop down arrow and say we want 2 slides per page. I mean, you can still write it in the margins or underneath each slide, that's fine. But the only option you get with lines are 3 slides per page. Speaking of which, you can click on the drop down arrow here and go back to slides or go to notes pages or outline view. You can make the change here of what you want to print, and once you select it, go ahead and click the print option. We'll close out, we'll go back to Control P to bring it back up again. Our little print settings screen. Then you can see the last was note pages, but we went from handouts. Now we're going to note pages. Now note pages are these little notes below each slide that you see here that you can type in. So let me go ahead and click on the preview button and see what that looks like. You can see there's my notes, and I click on the next page, I have more notes. So when I print them off, this is actually what you see is what you're going to get. So then when I look up on the screen in my middle of my presentation, and I go, okay, the title on this slide is Capturing Ghost. Hey, voila, I at least have my pages in order that I can just come down here and start reading my notes out to the audience. Instead of, if you don't have these in order and it's not matching the slide that or the presentation everybody else is seeing, I mean, you'll have to, fumble through your pages here. I'm going to go ahead and close out of here, Control P for the last time, and I'm going to change it to Outline View. And then we're going to go ahead and click on the Preview button. Outline View, you got no slides. You just get the text on the slide, including the title, any bullet points, or any text. That's your outline view. You can print these off and use them as handouts if you like, or just for your own personal notes. You can look down and do a quick review and maybe write some notes off in the margin here of additional highlights that you don't want to show up on the slide, but it's just you for your notes here. Or like I said, as handouts for their notes as well. If you like it, go ahead and click on the print button. Otherwise, I'm going to close out of here. Thanks for watching. Hey, as a quick reminder, if you like my video, please give it a thumbs up. You can also click on me and subscribe to my channel, get notified of the latest videos, and for only $2 a month, you can have access to all my Microsoft Office training videos.